So this is going to be a weird one. The concept here is the cast of Disventure Camp All-Stars, instead of playing the season we know, plays a game that's more similar to Danganronpa instead. Essentially, Disventure Camp All-Stars is a Danganronpa style game rather than the canon season. How will they do? Let's find out. The prologue starts the same, with Crystal sending a call to every All-Star and them meeting her in the plane. This time, however, when Aiden asks where Nina is, she appears, but also Monokuma shows up, having declared her his official sidekick. He executes Crystal right in front of everyone and then shoves the rest of the staff, aside from Nina, out of the plane. Monokuma declares that he owns the show now before shoving everyone out. Everyone's parachutes are the same since there won't be any teams. Now, there is one big thing that doesn't occur in this timeline. Hunter doesn't have his beef with Fiore. The only reason he did in the original was because she was on his team and he thought she was a liability because, well, she's a child. This time, there are no teams for Hunter and Fiore to be on, and therefore, there's no reason for the two to interact. So Hunter merely ignores her. Monokuma then tells the cast that this is a very different game to what they thought they were going to play. He tells them the only way to win is to survive, and quite a few of them might not make it out, scaring everybody before he and Nina disappear. Chapter 1 starts with Tess introducing Hunter and Allie to Ellie and Gabby, who and Allie, who might have played the original before, tells the group that they might have to seek out Tom, the ultimate spy. Gabby agrees, as she has a great friendship with him, and Hunter believes he would be great for a murder mystery, if he believes that's what they're in. Ellie disagrees, telling them that he yelled at her for telling the truth about them. She and Hunter argue, which results in Ellie storming off. The remaining four seek out Tom just as Jake does the same. Jake asks Tom why he ghosted him, but Tom avoids the question. Jake then finds Ashley and befriends her. She agrees to help him with Tom. Immediately, we find the first victim, Miriam. Three things could have happened. One, she had another heart attack, this time for real. Two, the stress of the competition got to her. Three, she was murdered by somebody. And since this is Danganronpa, the third option happened. Tom immediately suspects Ellie did it and recruits his new friends to look for clues, but Gabby doesn't go with them as she wants to save Ellie. Tom slinks into the production tent and finds a confessional from the first season that might help him. In the first season's finale, Miriam faked a heart attack to get Ellie eliminated, and afterwards, she has a confessional saying that if it happens again, she'll let her go towards the light. This is the most damning evidence Tom needed. The first trial begins, and Tom posts the evidence he has and claims Ellie was the culprit behind Miriam's murder. Gabby and Ellie, of course, refute it, while Tess tries to calm everyone down. Ellie tries to put the blame on Hunter. Allie, Tess, Hunter, and Tom deny it as he was with them the whole time. Monokuma then instructs everyone to vote, and with that, Hunter puts the clues together and realizes that Ellie has killed Miriam. And with a 15 to 2 vote, Ellie is the first to be executed. Gabby screams with Monokuma to reconsider, but her words fall on deaf ears as he initiates Ellie's punishment. Big Ellie patty melt. A chain snaps around Ellie's neck, dragging her away and tying her to a post. First, she is dipped into a vat of molten cheese, then dipped into a deep fryer, and finally the ropes tied around her are cut, dropping her into a mincer to be turned into a patty, becoming the hottest thing at her former workplace. Gabby is in tears, and Tom and Tess try to confront her. Chapter 2 begins right after Chapter 1, with Gabby walking off after rejecting Tom and Tess's comfort, as in her eyes, they betrayed her by killing Ellie, cutting off Tom's friendship in the process. Unlike Gabby, Tess, while also hurt by Ellie's loss, has Hunter and Allie with her. Connor and Alec form a friendship like they do in the original, as Alec would appreciate Connor's insight. Aiden is still very on edge, especially now as he knows what this game is capable of and how Rhea nearly killed him before. Just then, Allie notices someone on the rocks below, and sure enough, there was Jake, impaled, dead. Allie immediately goes to warn Tom, who races to the scene and breaks down. Immediately afterwards, another murder happens. Fiore. Connor and Alec would hear a scream from the bathroom, and and Aiden runs in to find Fiore dead under a running shower. James, Alec, and Connor run into the bathroom as well, and Alec drops to his knees in despair, revealing to Connor that he secretly still wanted to protect Fiore, but didn't want to at the time due to his anger in Season 1. James cuddles Aiden to calm down, and the four decide to figure out who killed her. At the second trial, Monokuma tells everyone that they now have to solve both Fiore and Jake's murders. However, only the first murder counts as the black end. So they have to pretty much solve Jake's murder. Aiden and James say good riddance, which pisses off Tom as James told Aiden that Jake tried to split the two of them up because because Aiden and Tom formed a friendship. And Hunter reveals that because of this argument, it could be that James killed Jake, and then very possibly set up a trap for Fiore. Rhea does blame James because Aiden was spending time with Tom. Now, since Hunter doesn't have his beef with Fiore, no one would suspect him of killing her, and therefore he doesn't have a target on his back. James does admit that he did set the trap to kill Jake after the argument that they had over Tom and Aiden, which pisses him off, but for Aiden's sake, he doesn't vote against him. When it comes time to vote, James, Aiden, Tom, Tess, Allie, and Hunter and Lake are voting together. It would be a tie. It seems like it would be a tie. 7 votes for James, 7 votes for Yule, due to his arrogant behavior. However, when the votes come out, it is revealed that to be a 7 to 6 to 1 vote, meaning James is executed. The ultimate TikTok star's punishment is called TikTok Beat the Clock, where he has to perform 3 different TikTok dances to entertain satisfaction meters in a certain amount of time, or the stage, which is really a big bear trap, would snap him in half. Basically, Sayaka's unused execution in Danganronpa 1. James performs the first 2 no problem, but when he gets to the third and final one, Monokuma smashes the meter. The clock runs out, resulting in a fail, and the trap snaps James in 2. Aiden is distraught and angered, asking the group who threw their vote. Tess revealed that she did it onto Rhea. Yeah, she tells him that she might have set the trap to split him and James apart, making it easier for her to deal with him in the future. Camera then pans to a shadowy figure watching them from a nearby bush, realizing Tess might have just figured them out. Chapter 3 begins with Tom and his allies discussing the previous night's events. Aiden is snappy though. With James dead, he really doesn't have anyone. Tom tries to appeal to Aiden, revealing to the group that he was also gutted when Jake died, but the mention of Jake causes Aiden to storm off, as this was before the time where Aiden and Jake found some common ground and actually became friends. Lake goes to calm him down. Hunter asks Tom why he felt that way, and he confesses to the trio that he still liked Jake, but was scared to admit it because he didn't want to change to rip him apart from him again. Meanwhile, Connor and Alec are having a chat, with Connor realizing that Rhea might sacrifice him first chance she gets. Alec then tells him she might not be for him, and he is forced to agree. Rhea then goes up to Connor and flirts with him, like she did with Alec in the original. She tells him that she wants to patch things up with him, but it was all a ruse. When Rhea returns, Alec, A- Alec asks her where Connor is. She tells him that he had to do something private, but Alec remains suspicious, so he goes to check on him. When he does, he finds Connor dead with a strange paw print on his face, like some kind of creepy henna. Alec vows to find the mastermind in Connor's honor. He immediately suspects Rhea, but when he goes to ask her, he mentions the paw print. Rhea then explains that she isn't a tattoo artist, so she couldn't have made the paw print. She then asks Alec if he wants to help her find clues on who did it, and he agrees since he generally wants to honor their friendship. Meanwhile, the trio and Tom find the body as well, and Tess quickly realizes something. She sees a paintbrush that looks very similar to hers, and so she wonders who would steal her paintbrush. The others then split up to find clues. With Gret and Yule, chinks in their relationship are starting to show, and Gabby comes over to them. Yule immediately dismisses her after she tells Gret straight up that she needs to dump him. Much like in the original, Gabby's influence starts to rub off on Gret, which really starts to piss Yule off. Gabby and Yule start arguing, which causes Gret to leave. but then she screams loud enough to get their attention. The three of them find Lake also dead with a similar paw print on her face. Now it's trial time, and Tom and the trio start off strong, getting ready to expose Rhea. But as soon as Tess finds her paintbrush, Gabby tells her that she painted the paw prints on Connor and Lake's faces. Hunter immediately refutes Gabby's claim, saying that Tess was painting a picture on her easel, showing the group the painting she did. Allie and Tom back him up. However, Gabby pointed the evidence in favor of Tess being the culprit. Tess tries to de escalate the situation, but nothing is working. Eventually, she decides to admit that she did it, just so nobody else gets killed by Monokuma, as Nina tells them that if nobody comes to a decision, they all will die. Tess admits that the paintbrush found was hers, but someone else used it. Regardless, when it came time to vote, Tess is executed in a 7-4 vote. Hunter and Allie are shocked, but Tess immediately accepts her fate. The punishment for the ultimate artist is called Last Starry Night, where she is basically used as a human paintbrush, sort of like Iroha from Super Danganronpa Another 2. Since Starry Night is an impressionist painting, Tessa's hair is let down and dipped into various colors. Monokuma then swings her around by a neck clasp, and he continuously hits her head against the giant easel, painting the aforementioned painting. When he was done, however, he didn't think it's good enough, and so he kicks the easel over, smushing Tess under its immense weight. Yes, I essentially gave Tess Kaede's role in the trial and Iroha's execution. Hunter and Allie are absolutely devastated, and Tom gives the speech that Shuichi did in Killing Harmony after Kaede died, saying that they shouldn't let Tess's sacrifice go in vain, and they need to hunt the mastermind down together. Aiden, Ashley, and Gabby also help with this. Yule and Gret argue again over Gabby, causing Gret to dump Yule, with him telling her that that was the worst mistake she ever made in her life. Unbeknownst to them, Tom and Gabby were watching from a bush. Chapter 3 ends with Yule running off and Tom and Gabby coming to an unconscious Gret. Chapter 4 begins immediately after, with Gabby tending to Gret's wounds. She opens her eyes for just a little bit to find Gabby helping her. She thanks her before dying. Gabby cries before she and Tom start to investigate Gret's murder. But, but Tom realizes that they just watched Yule murder Gret, meaning that they are direct witnesses, which could be very helpful during the trial. They then head back to Tom's alliance, which now has Aiden and Ashley. Ashley comforts Allie and Hunter after Tess died, much like she did to Allie in the original after Hunter got booted. Tom and Gabby then return, with Gabby saying that Gret was just murdered. Hunter asks if they need to look for clues, but Tom reveals that they saw the case play out. Gabby reveals that it was Yule, and the Mega Alliance decide to warn Rhea and Alec. They were only able to find Alec, and when they tell him, he figures that he won't be done, and lets them know that him and Yule had quite a few disagreements, especially over how he treated Gret. Gabby then realized that he might head for him next, and so invites him to join the Mega Alliance. He thanks her but rejects the offer because he needs to check on Rhea. Big mistake. When Tom and the others arrive at what was supposed to be the Yellow Team's camp in the original, they find Alec dead, and Rhea mourning over his body. Gabby tells Rhea that Yule killed Gret earlier, and the disagreements he had with Alec might have put him on his hit list. The ensuing trial was a short one, as Tom and Gabby claim witnesses to Gret's murder. Guess who's getting executed? The only way Yule doesn't lose 7-1 is if he can convince Rhea that someone else was behind Alec's murder, but she was still grieving over his death. So in a 7-1 vote, Yule is executed. The ultimate K-pop sensation faces a punishment called K-pop pop pop, which is basically one of those pop the bubble games. Yule is loaded into a cannon and shot into a grid of bubbles, but he doesn't pop any, as he is considered a yellow bubble, as a nod to him being on the yellow team in the original. The music starts playing and is his favorite track, making him want to dance his signature dance. But as the bubbles pop around him, they're revealed to be broken glass, slicing at his shoulders and back, making mincemeat out of him. Finally, another yellow bubble shows up and connects him with all the other yellows nearby. The bubbles pop, he falls all the way back down and dies on impact. The Mega Alliance are training together, with Tom giving instructions. Hunter, Ashley, and Gabby seem to enjoy it, while Allie and Aiden struggle a little. Rhea comes over and asks Tom if she can start training as well. He accepts. After the session ended, the group breaks for the night. The following morning, the group splits into various smaller groups. Allie was still sad about Tess, but Hunter cheers her up, reminding her of what Tom told them afterward. The two of them then talk things out, with Hunter apologizing to Allie like he did in the original, and she responds in kind. With Aiden and Ashley, the latter tries to explain that Jake was just concerned about Tom, but Aiden doesn't care. To him, his death led to James's execution. Just then, he sees a body and screams. Ashley runs over, but then the body discovery announcement shows up. Everyone runs to the scene to find Tom's body. He was the next victim. Since Tom was the glue that held the group together, this sends the group into disarray. Allie asks around for truths. Then she noticed something big, a paw print on Tom's face. Hunter notices it too, and this confirms to them that Tess was framed for their deaths. When the trial started, Hunter and Allie went in guns blazing. After discussing the evidence, they figured out not only the culprit behind Tom's murder, but Connor and Lake's too. Using the paw print, they deduced that Tess was framed, and Gabby is the real culprit. When Allie asked her why she did it, Gabby told her that she framed Tessa's revenge for voting against Ellie in the first trial. Ashley and Aiden then put it all together, and alongside Allie and Hunter, voted for Gabby's execution when it came voting time. Ashley reminded Gabby that Ellie was a sleazy girl who will do anything for cash, even murder in that case, and Gabby refuted it, saying she never understood her fully. She then tells her that Ellie was the only one who did. Hunter tells Gabby that that doesn't mean she gets to attack anyone who goes against her. With that, Monokuma drags Gabby to her punishment. The ultimate animal lover faces a punishment called Animal Crossed, where she is taken to a village and meets a stampede of wildlife, basically Gundams from Danganronpa 2. Being an animal lover, she runs toward the animals, only for her to get trampled anyway. Hunter and Allie are filled with euphoria at her execution, knowing that Tessa's sacrifice didn't go in vain, and they were able to exonerate her of her unworthy death. Now there are only 5 left, and all eyes turn to Rhea, as she is the only one left who isn't in the Mega Alliance. This freaks Aiden out, as he remembers what happened at the end of Season 2. Hunter, Ashley, and Allie came to his defense, though, telling him that if anything happens to him, they'll be here to help. This calms him down a little bit. Chapter 6 now begins the next morning. As the Mega Alliance meets up, they discuss a plan to expose the mastermind and end the killing game once and for all. The final trial commences, and the rest of the group realizes that the entire season was being broadcast for the world to see. And there's only one who has the experience to do that. Allie and Hunter put the pieces together and finds out that the mastermind is Rhea. When confronted, Rhea's facade drops immediately and she admits to being it. She reveals that she talked with her agency as Danganronpa was very popular. If she can get out of there alive, she would make millions for the season itself. The remaining 4 vote for Rhea and she is dragged away. The final punishment for the ultimate actress is called Best Documentary, and it is the same as Junko's punishment in Trigger Happy Havoc, being all the previous punishments wrapped into one. Forced to do TikTok dances, shot out of a cannon into glass bubbles, used as a paintbrush, trampled by animals, deep fried and covered in cheese, and finally she finds herself at the Academy Awards, only for a giant one to squish her under its massive weight. And with Rhea dead, the survivors are Aiden, Allie, Ashley, and Hunter. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and check out all my other videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.